I loved ballet, and I had always dreams to have my own ballet school, and so I went to England to study ballet and dance. Then when I graduated with a degree in dance, I was offered to do a commercial in Hong Kong. So my first working job was a commercial, and of all things, with Jackie Chan.
GL.
So that was how I was introduced to this world. And at the time, the boss was Dixon Poole. And he said, well, he's just started a film company called D&B with Sammo Hung and John Sham, and would love to sign me up. When you're 22, you're not thinking. You're like, why not? Let's give it a go. But I must say that because I was surrounded by people who were doing it with such passion and gusto, because they did not come from film schools. They did not come from NYU or Stanford or any English well-taught theater actors or directors. They loved film. They loved the medium of film. They wanted to show how it could be done. Because, with Jackie and Sammo, they didn't go to school. They learned it was all practical for them. So I guess in that way, I felt like there was a safety net. It's like, you don't know what you're doing, do you? You're not suddenly going to quote all these directors and history at me. It was an easy transition in that way. But it was tough because I didn't speak properly Mandarin or Cantonese properly. I did speak it, casually, and I didn't read any, and I still don't read Chinese. So that was the difficulty, because in Hong Kong at that time, it was very much in Chinese. Everything was shot in Chinese, written in Chinese. If there were scripts, they were written in Chinese. But in my first movie, Sammo Hung was the director and actor with George Lam and Dean Yip. And the guys were always incredible martial artists. But as I watched it, I thought, my God, this looks exactly like dance. This is something that I've been trained to do. So in my next movie, a producer's wife turned around and said, you guys are really weird. You bring, someone from abroad, but you bring her all the way here and you stick her in the same box as everybody else. Why don't you try something different with her? And then, the guys go, oh, good idea. So that gave me an opportunity to say, I would love to try action. I would love to be able to get into that. At that point, it really was the world of Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, Yuen Biao, Jet Li, the masters. And the girls normally played the damsels in distress. It's like, Jackie, save me, save me. We should get the equal opportunity to be where they are, or get to where they are, and not just necessarily be rescued the whole time, right? I mean, it's kind of cool to have a tough girl next to you who is still feminine and playful and all that. So at this point, the D&B turned around and said, well, we don't have anything to lose. The most popular films, comedy, action, comedy and action, action and comedy. Then they said, well, let's try it, right? If it doesn't work, we'll just put it back into the box. So they called Corey Yuen, who was in Canada at that time, and said, come back. We have an action movie for you. And he was really excited, coming back to Hong Kong, going to do an action film, until he found out that it was going to be this beauty queen from Malaysia.
Miss Malaysia.
My name is Yeoh King. I'm a graduate and I come from Ipoh.
He was like, oh no. But before I met him, once I knew I was able to do that, I went straight into training. And I was very lucky. I was living in Tsim Sha Tsui at that time. And there was this gym called Eddie Myers. And in this gym, many of the action actors and also stunt boys went to train. So I eased my way in there and tried to befriend them. you have to remember, I'm quite fit. So I play a lot of sports. I swim, I play squash, and these are not easy sports. They're quite very athletic sports. And then I still do a lot of dance. So I'm very flexible. And also, in dance, we do a lot of choreography, which means you learn what people teach you right away. So very quickly they found, oh, this could be quite interesting because I can mimic what they are doing quite well. And once I'm in front of the mirror or I'm watching you, I can watch your mannerism. I know the core. I know how to, do the movements. So they took me in under their wings, and we would go every morning for like 5-mile run on the promenade back. I cut my hair short. I was tanned, but I said, I don't want to look like that. I don't want you to feel that, oh, okay, she looks like someone who's going to like beat me up. She has to maintain a sense of femininity. And I think that is always the right thing, the best thing to do. And in the first movie, I played a cop. It was a surprise to the audience because when we broke out and started fighting, the audience were just stunned because they didn't expect it. So we were very fortunate. We had John Sham, we had Choi Hak, who were actors in the movie, and they played the comedic roles. So we had the balance of the comedy and action, and thank God, the audience didn't slice the chairs and they applauded at the end. Jackie Chan.
He always believes that women should stay at home and cook and don't do anything and be the victim and da-da-da-da-da.
So I did say to him, if you say that again, I'm going to kick your ass. And we are great friends, So he does say it. If you were to ask him, he says, only 2 women I'm afraid of. One of them is Michelle.